Okay, so just a word of warning, I've been feeling a bit unwell recently, so if my voice sounds a bit funny, then it's just because I haven't been feeling great. This is the best I've been feeling in a few days, so I thought, I want to report on this news, so I'm gonna do it. And no stuffy infection's gonna stop me from doing it. Okay, let's get on with the video. So as the title suggests, we've had some new information on the rest of Series 12, specifically the finale to Series 12, or should I say two-part finale to Series 12, as the finale will be split into two parts, which I will get onto in a minute. So first, we got confirmation on the rest of the titles for Doctor Who Series 12, up till obviously the second part of the finale. So Sunday's episode will be called Can You Hear Me? Next week's episode will be called The Haunting of Villa Diodati. I'm terrible at enunciation, so apologies if I'm getting that wrong. And then the last two are The Ascension of the Cybermen and The Timeless Children. Now some people are saying that The Haunting of Villa Diodati is the Mary Shelley episode, which could potentially lead into the finale, which would be interesting. But the two that I want to talk about mainly are The Ascension of the Cybermen and The Timeless Children, obviously, because they are the most related to the series kind of arc that's been building up. Obviously, The Ascension of the Cybermen makes it very clear that it's going to be a strong focus on the Cybermen, which is something I've wanted to see from a Doctor Who story for a long time now. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of when they're sidelined. And then obviously the finale is called The Timeless Children, which has sent people's minds racing about what could this mean. Are there more than one timeless children? Are the Doctors that we've seen, the Ruth Doctor and the 13th Doctor, the two timeless children? Is the Master one of the timeless children? What is this title? What does it imply? So yeah, that's certainly very interesting, and we've had some quotes from Chris Chibnall talking more about these two episodes, the finale episodes. So I'm taking these quotes from Doctor Who Production News, who are taking them for Doctor Who Magazine. I highly suggest following Doctor Who Production News. They always get stuff out about the show out as quickly as possible, short of just having a direct subscription to the magazine, which I'm considering doing because it means that I could get these kind of news videos out as quickly as possible. But they said that Chris Chibnall in Doctor Who magazine, Ascension of the Cybermen is set at the end of a cyber war. This is the conflict that's reduced both the Cybermen and humanity to barely anything. Now, that concept is a good concept, and the last time we really saw a sort of cyber war was Nightmare in Silver, where obviously the Siberiad Cybermen took out the humans and they basically ran out of humans to upgrade until the Doctor brought Angianati along, and that sort of snowballed into them creating a new army of Cybermen. It was a whole thing. So I'm interested to see where that concept goes, because we haven't really seen the idea of a cyber war since then, and even then it wasn't really a cyber war, it was the remnants of a cyber war. It would be nice to actually see a cyber war fully taking place between humanity and Cybermen. Whether that'll happen or not is, up for debate, but I am certainly interested to see where that goes. And the other quote is, the Timeless Child is mentioned as far back as the Ghost Monument 2018. And the final episode of this series is where some of those questions get answered. It's a huge emotional finale with lots of Cybermen, and it runs for 65 minutes. Chris Chibnall, Doctor Who Magazine. So there's a couple of interesting bits there. First off is the fact that, obviously, as he said, it was mentioned as far back as the Ghost Monument in 2018, which obviously I thought it was just going to be a throwaway line. I think many people thought that it was just a throwaway line, something that would never get resolved, but it turns out that there was very much a plan for it, which is interesting. Obviously, the final episode where some of the questions will get answered, so he is not blowing his load for sure. He is leaving something for Series 13, which is, I suppose, a good plan, because one of my concerns has been that they're bringing back so much from prior stories that what's it going to leave for Series 13 to work with. So I'm glad that they are leaving stuff for Series 13 to create. Obviously, like with every story of this era, I'm really not getting my hopes up that it'll be of sort of any meaningful quality, really, but from what I'm hearing, this is a good idea for a story, so I'm trying to be optimistic if I can be. It's a huge and emotional finale with lots of Cybermen, and it runs for 65 minutes. Now, 65 minutes, I believe, is the longest running time for any Chris Chibnall era episode, which is obviously very interesting, because one of the big features that was touted about Series 11 when it first came out was the fact that, each episode's going to be longer than before, when they were only really like 5 minutes different, if that. So that's certainly interesting. And also the fact that it's a big emotional finale, does that hint at some companions leaving? That is another thing that I find particularly interesting. Obviously, we've heard rumours about all sorts of different companions leaving, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is the emotional conclusion to this episode, if we see one or more of the companions leaving. Of course, I am a little bit concerned that once again the Cybermen are going to be sidelined this time. Rather than being the Master, though, it'll be the Timeless Children and their whole arc. Hopefully not. Hopefully we get some focus on them, because that's one of my pet peeves with New Who in particular, is that the stories really don't focus on the Cybermen as villains, as antagonists, when they should. You know, the last episode that I can remember that actually focused on them was Nightmare in Silver, and even then they were kind of overshadowed by the Doctor's cyber planner. And then you go even further back than that, Closing Time was overshadowed by James Corden's return. I guess the last time that was really focused on them was probably way back in Rise of Cybermen Age of Steel. And I'd just really like to see them get some focus again. I will say that for all of its flaws, Resolution actually handled the Daleks quite well. Other than the fact that Chris Chibnall made a Dalek laugh, which I don't know how to feel about, because the whole idea of them is that they're supposed to repress any emotion that isn't hatred. So, yeah. Other than that, though, the Dalek was actually killing people, which is something that a lot of people wanted out of the Daleks. So, if Chibnall can put in the same level of fearsomeness into the Cybermen, then I think we could be in for a pretty good story, provided they're handled correctly. Now, we can't forget the last time that Chris Chibnall handled Cybermen, or Cyber people, I guess, I don't know. But I'm hopeful that at the very least he's learned from that experience. Yeah, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. I am also concerned about how much this finale is going to have to juggle, because obviously we've got the whole Lone Cyberman arc thing that was set up in Fugitive of Digidune, coupled with the Timeless Child thing, coupled with the destruction of Gallifrey, coupled with the Master, because we don't really know what happened to him. Well, obviously we know he's still alive, because there's no way they're going to kill him off, but obviously we don't know where he is, whether he's going to be coming back or not. So it's going to have a lot to try and juggle, and that's something I've had issues with a lot of Chibnall's previous scripts, both Series 11 and 12, is that they feel like they're juggling way too many things, way too many characters, way too many plots at once. So my hope is that this finale manages to juggle things in a way that's going to be satisfying. I mean, judging by previous finales, they're never great at resolving things. I mean, even if you take Chibnall out of the equation, you know, RTD and Moffat both had their stumbly finales. So I'm hopeful, but I'm not too my expectations are pretty low for this, because I'm kind of in a weird place with Series 12 right now. It started off pretty solid, and it kind of really dipped for me then. And then Episode 5, rather, had such a weird reaction out of me, and then it sort of left me frazzled for the rest of the episodes. So, yeah, I'm not sure in years to come where Series 12 is going to be viewed by general, fans, where it's going to be held among fans, whether it'll be... I think it probably will be considered better than Series 11, but I don't know. It's just interesting to think about, considering that we're over halfway through the series right now, and I still don't really understand what unique thing this series is, really. I mean, maybe by the finale it'll all become clear, but I feel like each series had its own unique sort of draw in the past. Series 5 was the fairy tale, Series 4 was the big sort of finale with everyone coming together from all the previous series. Those each one had a different thing. Series 9 was the year of two-parters. Series 10 was the reboot. Everything was always different, and I'm not really sure what Series 12 claim to fame is yet. But, we'll see. That was going to be the end of this video until, well, the BBC, they just had to release another trailer, didn't they? I'm not really quite sure how to react to this, but obviously the trailer doesn't reveal an awful lot that we haven't already seen, so for one element that I want to focus on, we have a better look at the brand new Cyberman design that's going to be used in Ascension of the Cybermen, Timeless Children, and I'm not gonna lie, I love it. This is one of these things where, you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of this era so far. There have been a few bits that I like, obviously Sacha Dhawan's Master being one of them, but this is one of those decisions where I'm like, yes, thank God. Oh God. Right, okay, so as you can see on screen, the new Cyberman design is up there, and I'm going to be breaking it down a little bit here. So, as we can see here, this design is definitely taking cues from a few places. It's wearing its influences on its sleeve very much. We speculated a lot when the Cybermen were leaked back in, I want to say it was summer of 2019, that they kind of looked like a combination between classic and modern designs, and this very much proves that. It's very much a combination of, to me, it's a combination of three main inspirations. Well, actually 4, but I'll get onto that. So you got very much Nightmare in Silver inspired design here with the blue chest piece and blue light piece. You've got the sort of Earthshock head design and the more bulkier build. You've got the more sort of rounded eyes of the Age of Steel variants, and you've got the lights and the sort of head, the top head that's from sort of the 10th Planet and Tomb of the Cybermen variants. So taking inspirations from every sort of Cyberman design we've had so far and just sort of smashing them together, which is what was speculated last year I should say. And I love it. I won't lie. I don't love many things about this era, but this is one of them. I think this design is fantastic. I know we've only seen it for a couple of seconds, but I just love it. And yeah, I don't have a lot else to say. The spikes are on the side of the armor, which were seen in some of the leaked images as well. I really do apologize for the coughing. I'm getting too excited. But yeah, this design to me just looks fantastic. Channel Pup, who actually showed me this, thank you, Channel Pup. I wasn't even aware of this trailer until he made me aware of it. He said that they still look a bit too plasticky, but honestly, I'm happy with this design. This design to me is could arguably be the best modern design that we've had for the Cybermen, so I'm really excited to actually see it in motion in movement. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry it was a bit disjointed, but obviously I really wanted to talk about this design. Comment, like, and subscribe in the description below. Links to my Twitter and my Discord, and I will see you.
Have you been craving some high quality merch that doesn't have She Who Shall Not Be Named on the cover? Are you struggling to get a gift for a family member or relative after they seem to have everything after Christmas? Well, fear not, as I have the perfect solution. Introducing Thary's merch! Not only is this merch high quality and affordable, but if you purchase it you'd also be helping me, which means a lot. But I didn't stop at just shirts. Oh no. On the Thary's merch store you can get notepads, hoodies, mugs, and more. Just visit the link in the description below, and on screen now. Because hey, every penny you spend in the Thary's merch store is a penny that the BBC won't see. And I think that that's something we should all be proud of.
Oh, look down there, you got a little shop. I like a little shop.
Never mind that.